Glad to have you all here. Brian, I gotta be honest, I was a little surprised. Not a single witness for the defense at all in this case.
Yeah, you know, Elizabeth, we had been hearing for a couple of days that that was going to be the case, and it was interesting. The prosecution rested. The defense basically said, we need 15 minutes to meet privately with Lori and ask her whether or not she wants to present a defense and whether or not she wants to testify. So we all left the courtroom. They had that meeting inside the courtroom. We were called back in about 15 or 20 minutes later, and then the defense attorney just stood up and said, we rest. We are not going to be presenting a case.
Dave Aronberg, are you surprised?
I'm not, Elizabeth. Look, I think the big mistake that the defense made is not pointing the finger at Chad Daybell. She could have portrayed herself as a damsel in distress, that this cult leader is the one who did everything, and she just went along for the ride without knowing what was going on. But she, I guess, thinks that she's going to live forever with Chad after the trial, and so I think she probably convinced her lawyers to lay off, and as a result, they didn't even put on a defense. They're just going to rely on the high burden of proof that's required of prosecutors. But I think they've got there. I think they've got enough. They had a lot of circumstantial evidence in this case.
Yeah, prosecutors like yourself would have loved to have, I'm sure, had Lori take the stand in her own defense. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. We love these self-righteous defendants who think they know everything, and then they end up melting down on the stand because they're not used to the withering cross-examination where their own words are used against them. And she's had a series of lies here and cover-ups. I mean, what kind of mother knows her children are missing and then tries to cover it up so no one finds out about it? You know what kind of mother? Someone who is involved in the killing of her children.
Yeah. Jesse, your reaction?
So look, if you told me at the beginning of the case that they're not going to put a defense on, I would have been shocked. What we see right now, not so much based on what Dave was saying. We didn't see it. I have a couple of theories as to this. One, I think that Lori Vallow has been joined at the hip with Chad from the very beginning. She might have said to her lawyers, defend me in a way where you don't throw Chad under the bus and you don't throw my dead brother, Alex Cox, under the bus, who all the evidence is suggesting he was the actual killer of the kids. I think there's something else here, though. These are very specific charges. When you look at the actual terms of conspiracy or first-degree murder or grand theft, they might say, what did the prosecution present? They presented a case of a bad mother. They presented a case of a woman who was warped by her weird religious beliefs. But how definitive can you show an agreement that there was agreement to kill? How much can you actually pinpoint to the real killings here? They may actually hold this prosecution to their burden. I will say I don't think it's going to work because as much as you say there might not be so much before showing she knows what happened to the kids, let's not forget what she said in those phone calls to her son, Colby Ryan, and her sister, so nonchalant about the death of her kids, so saying you don't understand what happened. I think those calls and also the hair, her hair found on the duct tape that was wrapped on her son might be the biggest pieces of evidence.
Well, Gigi, today in court, we did hear the final test witnesses in the prosecution's case, and you know, I don't know, I felt like I had to take a shower afterwards. There were so many sexual text messages between Lori and Chad, lots of fire and heart emojis. These two were acting like lovesick teenagers. I mean, I just want to read a couple of these. I love you more. What wonderful chemistry we share. That's so hot. I need you now more than ever. We're definitely in new territory in your bedroom. Barely able to breathe. The fire is definitely burning. My gosh.
Yeah, it's been embarrassing to say the least. There's been some uncomfortable shifts in jury seats and in the public seats as well. It's just, and knowing what has happened in between these text messages, one of them was literally the day Tammy Daybell was murdered. They're doing this through text messages. So when you talk about, like, did the state prove their case, Lori is going to be her own worst enemy. The body cam video of the welfare check where she tells elaborate lies about where JJ is. And then leaving to go to Hawaii, this video we saw of her in the bikini, in the lounge chair, you know, just when they serve her with the paper to produce the kids. I think this is a slam dunk, and unfortunately, we've had to read some private things that will stick with us a very long time, too.
I have to say, Brian, Gigi makes a good point. In many ways and in many cases, it's Lori's own recorded words that are the most damning testimonies against her, whether it's her text messages or the recordings of her phone calls.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's so disturbing about those text messages, and you mentioned it, some of them are just they make you feel gross even when you're in the courtroom, hearing some of this tough stuff and this love and sexual talk between her and Chad. But what I found the most disturbing is those kinds of text messages are intermingled with the text messages where they're talking about the death of the kids and the hate in the kids' hearts and the zombies and the knives and the fire. So it's like 1 second they're talking about how much they're in love, and in that same conversation they're talking about the kids dying, and you could see it in the jurors' faces when they would read these text messages in court. I mean, it was very, very uncomfortable.
All right, I want to end with our two lawyers, Dave and Jesse, 30 seconds each. What do you think is going to happen? Will the jury convict? Dave, you first.
They will. She'll be found guilty. And then the big question for me is what happens in the upcoming trial of Chad Daybell. I think he points a finger at Lori. She's been found guilty after all. The problem is for Lori had the chance to do the same to Chad and she passed it up. So she's going to learn a lesson pretty soon about reality. She should never have followed this cult leader down this rabbit hole.
All right.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.